Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons today. Let's jump into a weekend mailbag video here. You guys have submitted a bunch of questions, mostly focused on some trades. In a video yesterday, at the end of the video, I asked you guys, who would you want to trade for? Give me some mock trade ideas. We're going to have some fun. It is the off season, right? I mean, come on, it's July 8th here. We got a long way till the actual training camp practices start. But let's do some mock trade video questions here, as well as some other questions on our mailbag video, starting with the RC Plane Builder, who says Falcons received 2023 fourth round pick and the Cowboys received Dion Jones. Now, on the surface of this trade, I'm all for this. I mean, if you could get a fourth round draft pick for Dion Jones right now, ship him off to the Dallas Cowboys, it would make a ton of sense for me, and I would sign the deal literally right now. I have no issues with this trade. My question really is, what is Dion Jones worth these days? And I think we have a little bit of an interesting view on Dion Jones from a Falcon fan perspective. I think we're kind of torn. On one hand, we think Dion Jones, we think speed, great, one of the better linebackers in the National Football League. And then we also think, well, wait a second, that was the Dion Jones of old and not the current Dion Jones. Like, he's definitely gotten older, he's gotten slower, and he's no longer one of the elite linebackers in the National Football League. So my question again would be, was he worth a fourth round draft pick? Or is he more worth like a fifth or a sixth round draft pick? Either way, I'm fine with doing this trade. I've said before many times that I'm okay with Dion Jones no longer being a Falcon. I think Atlanta has done everything possible to show that they're also okay with getting rid of Dion Jones. They went ahead and spent a high draft pick. I mean, a second round draft pick on Troy Anderson is a very clear message that Dion Jones is a thing of the past, and Troy Anderson is hopefully the future, and at that, a very bright future when it comes to middle linebacker with the Atlanta Falcons, or inside linebacker, depending on what you want to go ahead and call it. So I like this trade. I have no issues with this trade. I think the question really is going to be, can they find a trade partner for Dion Jones? And if they do, can you get anything decent? Like a fifth round draft pick is fine. You get a sixth round draft pick, or in the end, you just have to cut him. That way he can go and sign with anybody else because no other team wants to give you a fifth or a sixth round draft pick. So we will see. But first trade you guys gave me, I think, is fantastic. I'd be all for it, and we will obviously wait and see if they do something with Dion Jones. Okay, add great pin comment down below. Is Jones a Falcon this season? Will he be a Falcon in 2022? A lot of people are saying yes, which is surprising me down in the comment section. I don't think he's going to, but if you think he is, type Y down below for yes. If you think he will not, go ahead and type N down below for no. All right, next question comes from Hogan Vaughn, who says, Dion Jones for James Robinson and a 2023 fifth-round draft pick. So a lot of Dion Jones center trades to start the day off. Again, I'm fine with this. I have no issues with it. The question is, will they give you both James Robinson and a 2023 fifth-round draft pick? I don't know about that. Now, Robinson, to me, is a little bit overrated in terms of running backs. Now, don't freak out. I know he's been really good the past two seasons in the National Football League, especially 2 years ago. And he wasn't bad in 2021. Injuries were a little bit of an issue there, but still had 8 touchdowns. But I think that people consider him one of the elite running backs in the National Football League, and I consider him a good running back in the National Football League. Now, with that being said, he's better than any running back currently on the Falcon roster, especially when healthy. I think my hope right now is that Tyler Algier turns out to be James Robinson, or turns out to be the best running back on this roster. I think he's a real good chance of doing that, and I'd be totally fine with trading for James Robinson, but I don't know if the Jaguars would be willing to go ahead and give him up, even though there's been some contract disputes there and some hints at trades over this offseason. But the fact that Robinson remains a Jaguar tells me that they are not going to go ahead and get rid of him. But again, another trade that I think makes a lot of sense, maybe take away that fifth round draft pick just because Jones isn't worth that much, but player for a player, I am all for it. Speaking of trading for running backs, this is a fun question for the offseason. If you trade for any running back in the National Football League right now, like anyone, who would you trade for? And why is it Jonathan Taylor, right? I think most of you guys will put Jonathan Taylor down below in the comment section. But which running back would you trade for if you could trade for anybody in the NFL? I want to see what you guys think and give me your, picks for the best running backs currently in the National Football League. Okay, Doc Funk says, I'm really bullish on the Birds this year. A better team than last year, but possibly a worse record. Vegas says 4.5 wins. I'm all over that. I see at least 5 wins for the Birds from the Dirty South. Maybe even a sneaky team to get to 9 or 10. Do you want to encourage me or not on the plus 4.5 wins for the Falcons? 100% plus 4.5 wins. I'd be very surprised if this team wins less than 4. I think 5 is absolutely a lock. I'd bet that. I'd be fine with betting money on that one. I think the Falcons could surprise some people, and I've laid this out in the past, kind of what needs to happen. I think the big key, the big kicker for the Falcons surprising people and winning more games in terms of 6, 7, or 8 is the play of Marcus Mariota. Like, it's all going to depend on Marcus Mariota's play from week 1, hopefully until week 18. Like, if he's playing the entire season, then Atlanta is winning a bunch of games. But as soon as he starts to struggle, as soon as the losses start piling up, and you get Desmond Ridder in there, that's when the losses are going to continue, and the season will start to kind of go ahead down into the tank. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and say 10 wins for the Atlanta Falcons. That, to me, is very, very... I'd say unlikely because the rest of the roster, as we've very much talked about with the defensive line and the running backs and the wide receivers and the young linebacker play, the offensive line, I got a lot of issues, right? So let's not be too crazy about 10 wins just yet until we at least see some play on the football field. But for sure, over 4.5 wins. I mean, to me, Atlanta's going to be sitting there around 6, 7, maybe 8, which puts them 9, 10, maybe 12th draft pick in next year's draft, and that's obviously a lot more, almost double than what Vegas has them at 4.5 wins right now. But I agree, the roster is a little bit better than what it was last year, and they won more than 4.5 games, so obviously there is a very good chance of winning more games than Vegas says. Okay, there's a great chance we're going to have plenty more content regarding our Atlanta Falcons all off season long. I know that right now we're all wishing that training camp was starting, we're wishing that the season was starting, but I'm telling you, a couple of weeks away, you're going to blink and it's like, oh, they're at training camp. And then you're going to blink again, oh, it's the first preseason game. Then you're going to blink again, oh, it's week 1. Like, it's going to come a lot faster than a lot of people do realize. So make sure you guys stay subscribed, stay up to date with us for here for the latest and greatest Falcons news and rumors. Hit that red subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well as we try to give you guys nonstop content here on the channel. Okay, Chris Vaughn with a trade sesh. The Falcons explore trade for Jimmy G. This one's interesting. So this all stems from the fact that obviously they drafted Trey Lance, and they want to go ahead and make Trey Lance a starter, and they will. But the fact they haven't traded Garoppolo yet is very interesting to me. There seems to be really one team that Garoppolo makes sense for, and that is the Cleveland Browns right now, after they traded away Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers, which also is kind of, Carolina's weird. It's going to be a weird team this year. I don't think you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo just simply off the fact you already have 2 quarterbacks. Like, Garoppolo's a very much a win-now quarterback. We forget that Jimmy Garoppolo has been to 2 NFC Championship games in 3 seasons with the 49ers. I mean, he went to a Super Bowl with the 49ers as well. I mean, the guy is nothing but a winner, and I think with the right football team, he can win some games. You put him on that Browns roster, and Jimmy Garoppolo can win a ton of games with the Cleveland Browns. I think they might be the favorite to win that division with Jimmy G at quarterback, maybe alongside the Cincinnati Bengals. But there really isn't a need for the Falcons to do so, just based on the fact that I think Marcus Mariota is going to be fine and a serviceable bridge quarterback. Hopefully, maybe even that starter at least for this season. But Ritter's the guy. You don't draft Desmond Ridder in round 3 if you don't eventually plan to make him the guy of the future. And he's looked every bit at the part so far at rookie minicamp and at OTAs. So I love Garoppolo. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's grossly underrated. But no, not for the Atlanta Falcons. It doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is the polo pack that we have on sale for you guys today at chatsports.com/Falcons Polo. If you guys are heading out and about this summer, as I know that you are, you need to be repping your Atlanta Falcons. You can do it at a discounted price with a 2-pack, 40% off polo set that is on your screen right now. You get both colors, obviously pick your size, and then you get a massive discount, which is an absolute win-win. Link is on your screen and down below in the description box as well. So go ahead and pick up your Falcons polos right now because, yes, they've been on sale for a majority of this summer, but they're not going to stay there forever. And your size, better to get it now before it runs out. That way you don't have to wait for them to come back in stock. Randy Jorgensen says, trade a 4th-round pick for Nelson Agholor. I don't hate this. I think Agholor would be an addition to the wide receiver room. I don't see it happening, though. I think they have the receivers that they want, or at least they have enough receivers right now. And we talk about all the time, but they're going to trim that down. They're going to cut some of these guys, whether it's Tate or Geronimo Allison or someone else. But I don't think trading for Nelson Agholor really is that much of a necessity, and he doesn't make you that much better from a wide receiver perspective. Verbify, we'll wrap up on this one, says, I think Atlanta has a top 15 secondary. For sure. I mean, this is the best part of the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, top to bottom, when you look at their entire roster, this is your best overall group. And really, it's the cornerbacks. We will include the safeties because they have some veterans there, but they really have young guys like Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant, who we hope and expect to be, if not starters this season, at least playing a lot more than they did through the first, or at least for Richie Grant, the first season back in 2021. So, for sure, top 15. I would go as far as the top 10 secondary. I think that when you look at the guys like A.J. Terrell and Casey Hayward and Isaiah Oliver, these are really, really good cornerbacks. And, Darren Hall coming up, maybe possibly improving here in year 2. I think the big kicker, though, because obviously A.J. Terrell gets all of the love, and rightfully so, I think Casey Hayward is going to be a massive impact on the other side. For as much as we like to praise A.J. Terrell, they don't target him that much. Like, you're going to see this season, teams are not going to throw Terrell's way with how good he has been, and so the quarterback's vision goes to the other side, and that's where Casey Hayward will be waiting, and I think Casey Hayward is going to lead the team in interceptions. I think he's going to have a really, really good season. Now, obviously not as good as A.J. Terrell, because Terrell is still younger and still better, and is going to get a massive new contract, maybe at the end of this season, maybe at the end of the next season, who knows, but I think that Casey Hayward is really going to be the biggest offseason addition this team has had, and makes this secondary even better than top 15. I'd put them inside the top 10. All right, we'll end on this. Grade the Falcons secondary, A, B, C, D, or F. Where are you guys at on this? Grade the Falcons secondary. Very curious where you guys land on this one. I'd say it's an A- or at least a B+. Maybe not the safeties, but a B+ overall with the corners and safeties combined. But give me your thoughts down below right now. Okay, use the hashtag Falcons in the comments section for next week's mailbag. That's your best chance to be a part of that. And of course, be sure to subscribe as we have plenty more content coming up the next couple of days and weeks as we march towards training camp. For Atlanta Falcons today, Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.